Okay, I live in Lehigh, Florida. It's a suburb of Fort Myers, and this water system is unique to this area. So, as a homeowner, you really need to know uh, some tips on how to keep this system running. So, that's a water barrel, also aerator, and that's the drain for it. That's the cover for it up there. Water goes in there and fills up, and it blows off the stinky gases before they get in your house, and then your house don't stink every time you turn on a faucet. So that's the theory behind that. Okay, if you ever wake up and you don't have water, the vast majority of the time it's going to be a ground fault breaker inside one of them two boxes there, a push button ground fault breaker. um, First line of troubleshooting, check for ground fault breaker. Second, this is a pressure switch right here. These have to be replaced every year or two. They just go bad, and so the next thing you do if you don't have water, slap the top of this, pretty hard, and maybe a few times, and you should see it start working and start pressurizing up your house. This is a 40-60 pressure switch, so that gauge should be reading 40 to 60 psi, 40 on the low end before it kicks on, 60 at the high end. And these pressure switches, as a homeowner, you just need to buy some. The size is on the inside. I have 40-60 switches. You're just going to have to learn how to replace these yourself. It's not a big deal. It's a screwdriver and some Teflon tape. Turn off the power at the box, or turn off the big breaker, and just the blueprint's right there. Take a picture of how it goes together and figure it out. It's not a big deal. Learn how to replace these because you'll be doing it often. There's two of them. I believe that one runs the house up there, pressurizes the house. This one down here does the sprinkler system and outside faucets and stuff. These are for sale. The pressure switches are for sale at Ace Hardware in Lehigh, $23, just so you know. This is solenoid on the side of the water barrel. This doesn't really go out. I just replaced mine. Forget how much it costed, but these are at Home Depot. And inside that tube is where the wires connect, and a couple wire nuts in there. Very simple repair, and then just plug it into the wall. These are the pressure tanks. You'll know if the bladders are failing by, I think one is for the outside sprinklers and that pressure switch, and this one is for the inside. You'll know, you'll hear a lot of clicking and it trying to work, and then that gauge back there will no longer read 40 at the low, 60 at the high. It'll start clicking and going berserk and overworking, and then you'll know that pressure tank's shot. That's another very simple repair that you should learn how to do or know how to do. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, as far as I can tell, Teflon tape. I've replaced one of them at least. So, all right, and then if them two things don't get your water system up and running, what you're going to want to do is grab onto, that's a float switch in there. It's sideways at the moment, but when you raise it up, it's off, and that's where your tank will fill up, and down turns the water on. So next step in your troubleshooting would be shaking that float, or testing it by grabbing onto it and pointing it up or down and making sure it works. Them go bad, and they are about $35 at the Ace Hardware store in town. This is the simplest repair of all. Just a zip tie right there, and then plug it in. When you go to buy one, make sure you take a picture of the end of your cord, because you're going to need to know if it is a 110 or 220 if you replace this float switch. So between them three things, you know, 9 times out of 10, you'll get your water back up and running. And that is ground fault button inside them plastic clear boxes, slapping a pressure switch, and moving your float around, testing your float, make sure it works on and off, or replacing it. Then in Florida, you know, once a month or once every 3 months, that's your drain for your water barrel. Open that up, drain it out, use water hose, spray out the inside of the barrel, whatever, scrub it, have a special brush on a pole, scrub it up, add a cup of bleach inside that water barrel once a month to disinfect everything inside your house and in the water barrel. So clean it, you know, once in a while, add a cup of bleach. Trying to think of anything else you need to know quickly on this system. That should do it, I guess. That'll keep you up and running for now. So good luck in Lehigh. I'm putting this video on because I had to pretty much teach myself this, and there was nothing on the web down here. You had to hire a handyman, or and not even know if all he did was press the ground fault or not. You know, and then you start replacing all these parts, and it's just ridiculous. So good luck, y'all. Bye.